This program was first broadcast on Canterbury's access media station, Plains FM, and was made with the assistance of New Zealand On Air.
Welcome to your weekly dose of the Accountology Show. I'm your host and chartered accountant, Nicole Hay, with an insatiable curiosity for uncovering accounting ideas to help businesses grow. I have so many nuggets of gold to share. Are you ready to make your good business great? Let's get stuck right in. Hey, it's your host Nicole Haig and welcome to another episode of the Accountology Show. In accounting news, pets are increasingly being prescribed medicines to treat chronic conditions such as heart failure and keep their pain under control. Research by online pet supplies firm Pet Direct has shown pet medicine volumes are growing by more than 6% annually. Subsequently, the company has used this research to open an online pet pharmacy adjacent to its existing business, which is generating almost $5 million a month in food and accessory sales as it seeks to flip the existing pet supplies market. The pharmacy dispenses a vast range of prescription-only meds and repeats, although, like humans, pets need to see a vet every 6 months to keep supply going. We've got an ageing pet population thanks to improvements in nutrition and vet services, and some 10% of all pets will have a degree of chronic illness at some point in time, Pet Direct said. With that in mind, getting to the vet and getting our repeat prescriptions becomes somewhat problematic, but our service means that there's an auto-delivery element, so we can then set it up on repeat and those repeats can be automatically sent out. Pet Direct said the main products dispensed so far are Panadol and Nurofen to keep pain under control. Other biggies include heart and kidney therapies, but a look at the website shows weight management, anxiety and calming care supplements and dental care meds, etc. Surprisingly, Pet Direct's pet pharmacy is not the first of its kind. Other companies also in the space include Your Pet PA, myvet.co.nz, vetpost.co.nz, as well as Pill Drop, an online pharmacy that also dispenses pet meds and often vets themselves. The market for online pet meds is about $60 million, according to Pet Direct, and that is 95% currently held by vets. But the reason there are so many challenges is demand. With a vet shortage in the country, particularly outside central urban areas, fur parents are having trouble getting their fur babies consultations. Pet Direct approached a number of vets before launching the pharmacy, many of whom welcomed a new entrant to the market, that it would allow them to be freed up for consultation work, especially as they still remain a revenue stream and having to be checking the pets periodically. The Pet Pharma, which currently has an online platform, will open its first bricks and mortar pet supplies in Takapuna around the 1st of October and another planned for 6 in Auckland. In terms of market competition, Animates is the country's largest chain with 61 stores. The chain offers pet supplies and vet care but recorded a marginal decline in its animal care segment in its last results, blaming increased competition. Australian-based Petstock has 16 stores in New Zealand and is dropping its prices and expanding its portfolio as it seeks to reverse dropping profits. In a cost of living crisis, people were still prioritising their pets in terms of their spend. Are you a business owner struggling with profit, cash flow, or to find balance between work and life? At Nicole Hagen Associates, we want to help business owners just like you reclaim your freedom. Freedom to spend quality time with loved ones, freedom from stress, and freedom from financial burdens. But how do we do it? It's simple. We listen, we understand, and we create bespoke, structured programs tailored to your unique business and personal goals. With the right education, coaching, and expert advice, we'll show you how to increase profits, improve cash flow, and align your business and personal goals. Don't do it alone. Let NH plus A be your guide to success. Work smarter, not harder, with our proven accountability methods. Your freedom starts here. Contact us today. Welcome back to part 2 of our deep dive into maximising your productivity and making the most out of every single one of those 1,440 minutes we all get each day. Today, we'll build upon what we discussed in part 1 and dive into some more actionable strategies. So we'll have a look at your organisational structural review, understand the importance of a clear organisational structure for improving efficiency and scalability. We'll also look at governing versus managing, distinguishing between strategic governance and operational management for better business success. And thirdly, we'll look at risk management. So develop a risk management plan to prepare for unexpected challenges, which we've all seen in recent years. All the while looking at enhancing your business with practical tips to streamline operations, reduce stress, and reclaim your time. So let's get stuck right in. Okay, so in part 1, we covered how to cut out the fluff and focus on what truly matters in your business. And we talked about the top 10 time wasters, where there were the lack of clear goals, messy desks, procrastination, interruptions, ineffective delegation systems, meetings, inability to say no, poor email use, and planning. We also highlighted common accounting mistakes like mixing business and personal finances, skipping record keeping, and not seeking proper advice. We then dived into the art of delegation and introduced the Achiever Matrix, a tool to help prioritise tasks based upon their urgency and importance. And this perfectly segues into part 2 of common mistakes and time wasters for business owners, your organisational structural review. Right, well, we all want to spend more time doing what we love, right? So let me ask you this. Was setting your own hours a draw card to owning a business? In reality, do you work even harder than before? And I bet the answer is yes and yes. Chances are you plan to spend less time in your business and spend more time with your friends and family. Then the reality kicked in and you found yourself coming in earlier, staying later, taking work home and with you on the weekends. And this probably wasn't the life you imagined, right? So how do you start reducing your hours to get the life you want? The first is to identify the biggest time wasters in your day. So we live in a time-pressured world where urgency and distraction impede our achievements. And how often do you have to stop what you're doing to respond to a crisis or a pressing problem? Do you feel like you need to respond to emails and phone calls immediately? Sometimes things can feel important because they're urgent, but really the urgency stems from a lack of preparing and planning. And this is where the Achiever Matrix is gold. It breaks down your tasks into the 4 quadrants and helps you identify which tasks you can delegate and which tasks you can stop doing and which tasks you need to prioritise. So by spending more time on your tasks in the quadrant of quality, Q2, you'll achieve more each day and minimise the risk of tasks becoming urgent. If you want a recap on this, go back to the last episode where we breezed over the Achiever Matrix. The second area is identify how you can utilise your team and resources. So ineffective delegation or no delegation at all could be monopolising your time. So it's important that you trust your team and that they have enough training and resources so that you can empower them with new tasks. This is where you need to be reviewing your organisational structure, which clearly defines the roles and responsibilities so you can gain time for yourself to concentrate on key activities such as revenue generation, more family time or hobbies, and help you identify delegation opportunities. And again, ask your accountant to help you develop your organisational structure, or if you've already got one, to help you review it. If you don't employ a team, consider what tasks that you could outsource to free up your time. So consider things that you don't enjoy or that aren't your strength. And the most commonly outsourced departments are the marketing, admin, HR, and finance. Then plan for your desired lifestyle. So setting clear SMART goals. Now, SMART is an acronym for S for specific, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for realistic, and T for timely. Along with monitoring your relevant KPIs, it can help you prioritise your most important tasks and get time freedom. If something's not helping you achieve one of your goals, consider whether it's necessary, and if it is, whether someone else could do it for you. If not, schedule time to get it done before it becomes urgent. And if you struggle to hold yourself accountable to achieving your goals, your accountant can be that accountability backstop to ensure you act to free up your time. You don't need to be spending 80 plus hours in your business unless that's, of course, how you want to spend your time, but I don't know many people who really do want to do that. Your accountant can advise, obviously, on the latest apps and help you put better systems in place to help reduce the amount of time that you need to spend at work. As Stephen Covey says, most of us spend too much time on what is urgent and not enough time on what is important. Now, if we look a little deeper into your organisational review, so your organisational chart provides clarity within your business structure. It allows you to be more sustainable, scalable, and potentially saleable. So your effective organisational chart also helps you free up your own time. As a business owner, you'll find that you're wearing way too many hats and you don't have enough time in your day. The key to having a more effective and efficient business is to have a clear organisational chart because they have clearly defined departments, functions, roles and responsibilities. So the purpose of an org chart is to provide clarity to the key functions within your business, as well as who is responsible for them. An updated organisational chart will allow your business to be, again, sustainable, scalable and saleable. Okay, but the question is, you say, where do I even start in developing this org chart? So here's some points to consider. There's 5 fundamentals to an organisational chart. And if you want to reduce the bottlenecks in your business and increase efficiency by simply refining your structure, it won't be enough. So there are 5 things which are critical to getting the best from your organisational structure. Keep it visual. So your organisational chart should be clear, a visual structure that shows how your team works together. Share it with your team and display it so it's visual. Know your departments. So there are 10 departments in every business. It doesn't matter what type of business you are, there's still the same 10 departments. It's essential that you understand what these are and the function of each of these. Understanding the function allows you to understand which department a key responsibility belongs to. You need to know the roles. So define every role in your business and don't shape that role around a person. So we don't say that, Jeff does the admin and Sarah does the finance. It is, here's the admin role and this is what is required and here is the finance role. So you need to determine the tasks and responsibilities for a role before thinking about the individuals in your team. So remember, each department can only have one leader. Otherwise, too many chiefs, not enough Indians, and there's confusion for the team of who they will report to and where the accountability lies. You also need to respect the hierarchy. So determine the hierarchy and how the positions and the departments interact. So this means that the leader doesn't bypass managers to give instructions to team members and that team members report to their immediate superior. And you also need to train your team. So ensure your team understands your org chart and the protocols around it so they obviously respect it. But the training is also important for the leaders of the business as it is for the team members. So by understanding these fundamentals, it allows you to create an organisational structure that enables effective delegation to free up your time, identifies gaps in your resourcing, and improves your business culture. Okay, so before redesigning your organisational chart, you need to consider these guiding principles to help you think clearly. So organise your business around the positions, not around the people. Keep your organisation as flat as possible, and no one should have more than one manager, as we've just discussed. So if there are no clear roles and positions in your organisation, I'd recommend that you begin this project as soon as possible. So if you're planning for expansion, the review will help to clarify the roles and the responsibilities required for an effective organisation. In addition to having an organisational blueprint, the organisation review will allow you to increase your ability to make effective strategic decisions, understand the key functions within your business and who should be responsible for them, and determine ideal roles for the business as opposed to fitting roles to the people in your team. Increase efficiency and productivity in your business model and develop a structure that will support the future plans for your business. And best of all, free up time for you to concentrate on revenue generating activities or have time away from the business. Okay, so if we look at building a better business, you need the right organisational structure in place, and you'll free up your time and reduce stress, as I keep mentioning. Your ideal structure will allow your business to become more efficient and achieve economies of scale. This will increase your bottom line at a greater rate than your revenue. So your organisational structure should allow your revenue to increase without creating any bottlenecks. An organisational structure should show all 10 of the departments in your business and who's responsible for what and how the hierarchy works. Remember, as I keep saying, that each department should only have one leader, and the same person can lead more than one department, but 2 or more people can't lead the same department. Okay, so here's the 10 departments. You have the shareholders, you have the directors, you have leadership, which includes your CEO and management team. You then have your product or service department, you've got operations, you've got marketing, sales, finance, HR, and the last one, admin and technology. So if you're the owner of a business and currently lead multiple departments, you need to ask yourself how well you're leading each department. It's likely that there are some you don't enjoy as much as others, and procrastination happens on these tasks within that role. Now, this is applicable whether you are a 100-employee firm or whether it's just you're a sole trader. You need to consider outsourcing or training one of your team members to take over the leadership of these roles of these departments that you've been neglecting, because it's likely that they'll do a better job and it'll free your time. But the key is to remember not to overload team members, and that includes you, because it's more likely that they'll make mistakes. Also, paving the way for your team to grow and develop improves loyalty and engagement. So it's important that your organisational chart is a living and breathing document that your team understands and works in sync with. You need to check in regularly to ensure your team is aligned and that the structure and the hierarchy is being respected. And use it during your performance review. So discuss where there have been any changes to each team member's role and update the chart to reflect these. And if it seems overwhelming, remember, ask your accountant for help. And Peter Drucker says, mission defines strategy and strategy defines structure. Now, just touching on there can only be one leader. So remember that I said that there can only be one leader, one of the business and one of the each department. There's a key principle of an effective organisational chart. This is key. An effective organisational chart has the visually defined parameters that we just talked about and identifies every role in each department with the clear accountability lines. It's essential that your team does understand who they need to be reporting to. So what does your organisational chart look like? When you develop a clearly defined organisational chart for your business, you also then need to add a job description for every role and an implementation plan. So here's what you need to do. So you need to create your organisational chart with clear roles. You need to understand the accountability lines in your business and ensure your team knows who they are to report to. You need to identify the key responsibilities for each role and learn the difference between a key responsibility and a task. You need to identify inefficiencies in your organisational structure, which will lead to creating a more sustainable, scalable, and ultimately, you guessed it, saleable business. Okay, so governing, if we look at governing versus managing, and sometimes it's hard to make that distinction between the two. So spending too much time managing and maybe you're not doing enough of the governing, or maybe you don't even know what the distinction is. What is the difference between directing and leading? Let's look at it another way. Would you consider you are a director or a leader? So a director is governance, and this is a strategic role. Leadership is an operational role. The distinction is key to the success of your business. And remember, there's the 10 departments in every business, regardless of what size your business is. And many business owners control multiple departments. Now, imagine each department has a hat worn by the single leader of each department. Many business owners, as we all know, wear multiple hats. And the secret to the success of your organisational structure is to understand the key difference between the departments and their responsibilities, and to understand which hats you're wearing, and most importantly, to make sure none of your hats are being neglected. So what's the difference between wearing the director hat and the leadership hat. So in a nutshell, as I said, the director is the strategic role and the leadership is an operational role. So the 8 key differences between the director and leader is a director maximises shareholder value, the leader maximises business efficiency. A director sets the plan, the leader implements the plan. Directors have governance responsibilities, the leader has leadership and management responsibilities. Directors work on the business, the leaders work in the business. Directors mitigate risk and set policy. The leader implements the policy. Directors have a strategic focus, the big picture focus. The leader has an operational focus, so they make it happen. Directors establish the business model and the structure. The leader implements the model and manages performance. Directors have no accountability line to the team except to the leader, and the leader holds the team to account. As I said, getting the structure right and developing your strategy are critical foundations for achieving business success, and understanding the difference between the director hat and the leadership hat is fundamental. Remember, the director set the plan, the leader engages and empowers the team to deliver on that plan. After all, it's your team who must be engaged in your plan for it to become reality. And neglecting the governance role can lead to business failure. So it's imperative you learn to separate your governance role from day-to-day operations. With most businesses being small to medium size, it's no surprise that the owners are struggling with understanding the difference between governing and managing. And the line between these roles often becomes blurred, and it's difficult to separate associated duties. I remember I said to consider outsourcing or training one of your team members to take over the leadership of these departments that you've been neglecting. But I also added that overloaded team members, and that included you, are more likely to make mistakes. So speaking of mistakes, we need to talk about managing risk. A crisis can expose gaps in a business risk management processes and highlight new risks that need addressing. So developing a risk management plan will help you prepare for whatever unexpected events in the future may hold. And we have certainly been through a few. We've had to quickly respond to some of these new risks in recent years without the luxury of planning and preparation. And while it may be impossible to predict all potential risks, we can still review our business and address identified risks and prepare for whatever the future may hold. While risks and opportunities exist throughout all departments of a business, it's the responsibility of the directors to manage them. Small and medium-sized businesses are no different to publicly listed companies, where the function of the directors is to maximise shareholder value. So remember that. The function of the directors is to maximise shareholder value. Now, as you recall, let's talk about the key responsibilities. We'll go over those quickly again of the director's role. So the director's role is setting the company's vision and strategy, providing legal and fiscal oversight, or making a plan for business growth, improving the business model, overseeing the business performance, and establishing the appropriate organisational structure to deliver on those items, as well as maximising shareholder value. These strategic responsibilities contribute to the overall risk management strategy for the business. So the best way to manage risk involves documenting and regularly updating a risk management plan and a risk register. So by looking at each of these departments of the business, the risk management plan will help you to identify, assess and prioritise risks and set goals and actions to mitigate and monitor them. This risk register will help you record the risk management process. So regardless of the plan, as a director, you'll need to ensure that you have regular meetings with your team to ensure that you're discussing their progress and to manage and monitor. To ensure the risk management plan is monitored and updated, and have someone provide an independent voice of accountability. They can add to their expertise and experience and provide the business with the best chance to succeed before, during, and beyond any crisis. Well, we've delved into key strategies for optimising your business operations and reclaiming your time. We discussed how to identify and eliminate major time wasters. We emphasised the importance of focusing on high priority tasks. We explored effective delegation techniques and the use of the Achiever Matrix to help prioritise your workload. We also highlighted the significance of a well-defined organisational structure to enhance efficiency, scalability, and overall business sustainability. Understanding the difference between governance and management roles is crucial for strategic direction and operational success. And lastly, we touched on the importance of developing a risk management plan to prepare for and mitigate potential business challenges. By implementing these strategies, you can streamline your operations, reduce your stress, and create more time for what truly matters in your business and personal life. And remember, in the words of Peter Drucker, mission defines strategy and strategy defines structure. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for more practical tips and insights in our next episode. Okay, 3 action points from this episode. The first is conduct an organisational structural review. Assess your current organisational structure to ensure clarity in the roles and responsibilities. This will improve your efficiency and scalability in your business. And consider creating or updating your organisational chart to visualise how your team works together and identify any gaps or inefficiencies. Second action point is implement effective delegation. So review your current delegation practices and identify tasks that can be delegated to your team members or outsourced. Ensure your team has the necessary training and resources to handle the new responsibilities. Effective delegation allows you to focus on high priority tasks and strategic planning. And the third action is develop a risk management plan. So create a comprehensive risk management plan to prepare for unexpected challenges, identify, assess and prioritise potential risks in each department of your business, and regularly update your risk register and hold meetings to discuss and monitor progress, ensuring your business is prepared for any crisis. And if there's one thing you should take away from this conversation, let it be this. Having clear roles and responsibilities in your business is a game changer. It boosts efficiency, makes delegation easier, and helps you handle risks better. Plus, it gives you more time to focus on what really does matter in both your business and personal life. Thanks for joining us on the Accountology Show. If you have enjoyed today's show, you're in luck because we'll be back next week. You'll find past episodes at plainsfm.org.nz and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify to never miss an episode. We would love it if you would leave a 5-star review and tell a friend or business owner who would benefit from hearing our show. We also love hearing from you, so reach out with any comments or a topic you'd like covered, and even suggestions for whom we should get in the studio next for an interview. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn and TikTok. Our handle is NH Plus Associates, that's NHPLUS Associates, or email me, nicole@nh-a.co.nz. But most importantly, thank you for taking the time to listen to the show. Until next time, keep building that business into the empire it absolutely deserves to be.